There we go. Fire away, Brian from Edwards.
Well, Melissa, thank you, and good afternoon, everybody. My name is Brian Diesroth. I'm not sure why my wife's name comes up on this account, but her name's Kylie, and you could meet her as well. So, in all seriousness, guys, I'm the Senior Director of Sales for Edwards Garment. I oversee our promotional products division as well as our international division. And, I'm going to get started. I'm going to share my PowerPoint, but today's presentation, which I'm going to try to keep to about 20-25 minutes, and I'm going to open it up at the end for some questions and some dialogue and some conversation, if there is any. But I really want to focus on the diversification of your business through selling uniforms. And ultimately, I just want to give you some tips and tricks today, kind of whet your appetite. And if it's something that you're interested in, I'd love to schedule one-on-one time with you to review your accounts and review that opportunity. So that being said, let me figure out here how to share my screen one more time. You guys should see yourselves, right? You guys see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So I want to start out by pointing that we were established in 1867. We've been around for over 100.
Are you supposed to have your presentation up? Because all we see is ourselves. Just move your presentation. Ooh, a present.
I apologize, guys.
You're good.
See, this checks out that.
You had it before.
I know. All right. So can you guys see my presentation now?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I really apologize about that. So as I said, now this is repetitive. We are the second oldest proprietary brand that services our industry. We got our start in 1867. The reason I'm pointing this out to you is because we have a history. We have a longevity. We are the premier uniform company in the industry. We're a top 20 company, but I like to point out the longevity because we know how to handle an ever-changing marketplace. We're quick, we're flexible, we're adaptable. We have no bad debt. We're family owned. We're not going to get gobbled up tomorrow by some other big corporation. So I'm sharing the history with you because, again, we've been around for a really long time, and we do have a good handle on uniform sales and apparel sales in general. So as I mentioned, we got our start in 1867. We got our start as the Kalamazoo Pant Company. We are family owned and operated. And in recent years, we've went from this traditional conservative company, hey, Edwards is that hospitality company, to a more modern and fashion forward and retail inspired company, which is really nice because I'm going to go over some of these fashion forward SKUs a little later in my presentation. But I want you to be aware, and I want you to know with confidence that you could sell to conservative, traditional America in regard to the uniform, but you can also offer that new, contemporary, modern, and fashion-forward uniform as well. So before I get into the conversation of uniforms, I always like to remind everybody of the benefits of partnering with us. One of the biggest benefits is we are a single vendor purchase order. We have no minimums on our decoration. We offer you both embroidery and heat transfers. Currently, after proof of approval, our embroidery lead time is 3 to 5 days. Our transfer lead time is 4 to 6 days. That one-stop shop is a big time saver, which equates to more opportunities for you to make money. I also like to point this out. We do offer extended size runs on our core offering. As a uniform company, we have to do our darndest to outfit everybody in the marketplace. So on our core collection, which I'll provide Melissa in my follow-up, and then she could spread the good word. But our core collection, ladies apparel, starts at extra, extra small and goes through 4 extra large. Men will start at small and go through 6 extra large tall. So rest assured, we can outfit everybody in the marketplace. And again, that benefit saves you time and gives you more opportunities to make more money. We have deep inventory, about $40 million on hand, in stock, and ready to ship up in Kalamazoo. You guys receive free freight on merchandise orders exceeding $200. Just be aware of that. It's a nice benefit. You guys get the free blank samples. More importantly, though, you get the free spec samples. Specs Right checks. You guys know it better than me. All I ask from you is a DST file. Whether you're prospecting, whether it's a hot opportunity, you always get those free specs. And take advantage of it, guys. I don't mean to beat a dead drum, but we are Edwards Garment. I am not Nike. I am not Under Armour. I am not Carhartt. The client, the end user, needs to ultimately touch, feel, and wear our apparel. So again, free spec samples. In addition to that, we have a division of the company, which we'll review momentarily, called Edwards X, formerly Bishop Custom Clothing. It is a made-to-order, from the ground up or from the fiber up, custom company and custom experience. So we'll talk about that too. And then, as always, guys, go to our website, edwardsgarment.com. You can see inventory. You get the latest and greatest in regard to our offering. So that being said, I want to jump right into the uniforms. And why sell uniforms, guys? The number one reason that comes to my mind is the diversification of your book of business, right? And what we offer is we present an alternative to the traditional, what they call in the uniform world, a wash and wear program or a rental program. So what we offer you is, and what we offer the end user, is an alternative option from that traditional uniform dealer or industrial laundry dealer. Those are going to be your competition. It's going to be the Cintas. It's going to be the Osco. It's going to be the UniFirst. So it is a $20 billion market. Should be a good incentive for you to say, hey, let's add uniforms into our repertoire. And in some of our vertical markets, which I'll cover in a minute, uniforms are in every department. And a lot of these departments have high turnover. They're low-paying gigs with high turnover, which make it a great opportunity for you. I bet you that within your book of business, there is a uniform opportunity that exists. So the first piece of advice, recommendation that I could give everybody on today's call is you need to ask the right questions. The first question that you want to ask when prospecting uniforms is ask the prospect or your client if they're currently in a binding contract for their uniforms. Now, if the answer is yes, find out when it expires. If the ink is just drying on the paper and it's a 5-year contract, I would never tell you what to do with your business, but respectfully, go find another opportunity. If you find out that the contract is expiring in 12 months, in 6 months, what have you, you catch my drift, that's when you need to give us a call. That's when you need to start asking questions about who the incumbent is, right? We want to know, you want to know who you're up against. Find out some of their pain points. The majority of the time, the response you're going to hear when you go down the pain path route is we're in a binding contract. We're overpaying for services such as laundry, right? So ultimately, what you offer your client is what we call an employee wash and wear program. It's a direct sale. You are not offering a rental program, which is what Cintas offers. Ultimately, the benefit for the end user, right? Whether it's the hotel chain up the street, whether it's the hospital, it's the car dealership, the benefit from an end user standpoint, and this is the message that you have to convey. By transitioning your uniform sales over to me, I stand to save you money. And the money that I'm saving you is I'm not nickeling and diming you for the repair of the garment, for the laundering of the garment. What you're selling is a direct sale. You're selling a set of uniforms to employee A, and that's it. When employee A needs new uniforms or quits and is replaced by employee B, you are simply directly selling another set of uniforms. In the uniform world, this is called a wash and wear program. Brian is the employee. He shows up in his uniform. He works in his uniform. Brian leaves in his uniform, and he's responsible for laundering that uniform. So the biggest thing that you want to hone in on is there's no contract, and you can save the end user a lot of money, and you still offer them the same quality apparel. It is industrial laundered, industrial laundered wash and wear tested. We wash everything in our line up to 50 washes before it enters, because it needs to have that durability and longevity to survive a uniform program. And you're seeing on this screen, offer pants. What does this guy mean, right? The bottoms, pants, shorts, they are a big component of uniform programs, and often it is overlooked, right? So when you guys can walk into an opportunity, and again, it could be within your existing customer base, it could be your prospecting, make sure you offer both the bottoms and the tops. It seems basic, right? But trust me, it's often forgotten about. The bottoms make up 30% of our revenue. So you could find a lot of just bottom programs, pant programs, that make you a lot of money. So that is basics 101, so to speak, on some questions that you want to ask. And again, ultimately what you're selling is that wash and wear program in a direct sale model. Now, after sharing that, I want to share our top vertical markets with you. It's important for you to be aware of the verticals that we're successfully selling into. And again, don't overcomplicate the uniforms, right? I know that word uniform maybe could be daunting, right? Oh, this could be challenging. It's easy, guys. We make selling uniforms easy. And at the end of the day, it's just another apparel program. So when I say healthcare, I need you to think of hospitals and assisted living centers. And I'm talking about that non-clinical employee. In other words, not the doctor, not the nurse. I'm not saying sell scrubs. What you want to do is sell uniform programs to the following departments. Sell to the admissions department, the parking and valet division, the culinary division, the EVS division, housekeeping, maintenance, and security. If you're able to sell into every single one of those different departments that I just outlined, that is 60% of the employee staff at a hospital. And they are buying button-ups. They are buying polos. They are buying pants, shorts, and bottoms. They are buying the workwear shirts, the workwear pants. They're buying our offering. So again, it's not a sexy sell in a sense, oh, I'm selling to the EVS and the housekeeping crew, but it's a sell that provides you that mailbox money, and it's a sell that provides you opportunities to other departments within that facility. Now let's walk across the street from the hospital and we go to the senior assistant centers, right? These assisted living centers, we have an aging population here in the United States. Assisted living centers are popping up in every community. And just like hotels, the hospitality, which is my fourth largest vertical market, we'll talk about in a second, these are franchised opportunities. So the Brian Diesroth Group, they own 6, 7, 8, 9 assisted living centers. So you're not just selling into one facility, you're selling into multiple facilities. And those same departments that I outlined to you in the hospital, they exist in the senior center as well. The casino and gaming institution. This is a market that it is high volume business with low margins. And this is where, when we have the deeper conversation, right, which we're having now, we're scratching that surface. There's a very distinct person that you want to talk to in the casino and gaming world. And that person is the wardrobe manager. They are the person, the only person that makes decisions on uniform programs through that entire building. And just like the hospital and just like the assisted living center, there's a culinary department, there's a security department, there's some form of housekeeping, and there's some form of maintenance. So we sell these, when you think of us departmentally, we start making a lot more sense, and then you can apply us into different vertical markets. That casino and gaming institution, just a fun fact to share, we do really well with tribal casinos. That seems like to be, it's our bread and butter. It's not the casinos in Atlantic City or Las Vegas, but it's the tribal casinos that we have a lot of success with. Now, security, you're going to be like, hey, Brian, you mentioned security in the hospital. You mentioned security in the casino. Security as a standalone vertical market with us is number 3. Google security companies in California or Texas or wherever home is, Wisconsin, and you're going to get hundreds and hundreds of hits. We sell a lot of security programs in inner cities that contain blazers that are suiting programs, but we also have the tactical long sleeve and short sleeve polos, and we have the tactical pants as well. It is a thriving vertical market, and within the last year has risen to number 3. Prior to this year, it wasn't even in the top 10. Hospitality pre-pandemic, we were known as a hospitality to some regard, right? Hotels and resorts. And I don't mean to beat a dead drum, but those same departments that I outlined in that hospital, in the casino, and in the assisted living center, they live in these resorts and hotels. And when you guys go present to the healthcare industry or this hospitality industry, the transportation industry, those folks in purchasing, they're going to be familiar with our brands because we live in this space. So you're not introducing them to a brand that doesn't have a quality reputation, or you're not introducing them to a startup company. You're reintroducing them to Edwards Garment that at one time was probably in that facility. So I just like to point that out. I mentioned this earlier with the assisted living centers, but when it comes to the hotels, focused on franchise hotel opportunities. Franchise hotel chains make up 70% of the hotels in the US. Again, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your business, but unless you have a pre-existing relationship with corporate Hilton or Marriott, go after those franchise groups. The last 3 I'm going to round out are transportation, automotive, and financial. I'll start with the latter. The financial is pretty self-evident. We do a lot of blazer and sweater programs, button-up programs for banks and credit unions. What is a little bit more digestible is the transportation and the automotive conversation. So I break up transportation into 2 buckets. Bucket number 1 is these logistics companies, trucking companies. Up and down the East Coast, you have Estes and Pitt, Ohio Trucking, right? Just as an example. Driver programs, we perform really well with. You sell a polo, you sell a button-up, you sell a vest, you sell a soft shell jacket, and then you sell the bottom component, the pants for these driver programs. But then the other bucket is think about your local city, your local community, right? Whether it's county, whether it's city. I'm originally from Philadelphia. So we have SEPTA, Southeastern Pennsylvania Transit Association. Down in Atlanta, there's MARTA, right? So these regional mass transit programs are a really good opportunity for you guys to make money, because within this driver program, there's also security and there's also upper management. There's maintenance. There's other components to this regional mass transit system. So it's more than just driver programs. And we work a lot with one of the AIA owners down in Southern California, Chris Tavara, doing a lot of these programs. So if you're friends with Chris or want to reach out to Chris to learn more about, hey, is this a viable market? He would be a good person to check, or at least have that testimonial within the community. And then equally, you can ask Chris, hey, are these guys easy to work with? Do they got quality products and service? And again, it would be that good testimonial. And lastly, guys, because I know this is just the juicy part of the conversation, vertical markets, but automotive. And again, I break up automotive into 2 buckets. On the one hand, we sell a lot of suiting programs into high-end car dealerships. Think Mercedes, think BMW, Land Rover. And then think of the automotive world within the Sunbelt states down here in the Southeast. Think of these manufacturing companies like Toyota and BMW and Volvo and Mercedes. We do a lot of programs, workwear pants, workwear shirts with these type of facilities. So We certainly sell into other vertical markets as well, but they're the vertical markets that we are most successful with. Now, guys, real quick, I want to introduce you guys to a couple of new pieces of apparel. Equally, I want to talk custom a little bit because there's a lot of uniform opportunities within the custom world as well. And then I'll tie everything together at the end and open this up for questions. So, as I mentioned at the forefront of this presentation, we are becoming more modern and contemporary, more retail inspired. March of last year, so March of 2023, we launched a new brand called Point Grey. Everything under the Point Grey label is Lululemon inspired. It has a 4-way stretch. It's made with recycled polyester, so it's eco-friendly. And then it has that snag resistance, the moisture wicking, all the bells and whistles. So we introduced recently a new wrap dress. Think vertical markets. We just talked about this. Where does this make sense? Think hospitality, think hotels and resorts, think the culinary industry, restaurants, hostesses programs, cocktail waitresses and casinos and gaming institutions. Think of the financial world with banks and credit unions. And then I know this wasn't on the list, but think about the airline industry and the above the wing crew, the flight attendants. Our polo here, and by the way, this is all net pricing to you. Our polo here, for you guys to sell a Lululemon inspired polo that nets you out at $13.50, you guys will love this piece. I mentioned free blank samples, free spec samples, get yourself one. And then November 24th, we're launching our Point Grey quarter zip. I love what we did here with the collar, with that mock neck. We're taking a little bit of athleisure and putting into that corporate wear. So just 3 new SKUs that I want to make you aware of. We did launch this line with the suiting aspect. So we do have that stretchy blazer. Again, home launderable. Why is that important? Because when you're selling this blazer into a uniform program for a restaurant, that employee can take this home, literally throw this in their home washing machine and then throw it in the dryer and call it a day. The pants are ABC inspired. So those Lulu pants that cost us $130, we got the Lulu pants for $43. And then we did just add a checkered pattern to our button-up shirts as well. So that's the Point Grey line, guys. Like I said, this is the bridge. Point Grey is the bridge that connects traditional conservative Edwards to the new modern and contemporary Edwards. And crossing that bridge, we have a full collection for her now. So a total focus on fashion forward ladies inspired apparel. I just showed you the wrap dress, but our soft blouse line is really impressive. 5 different colors, all eco-friendly, all with a 4-way stretch. And then we launched our Swazer. We're getting a little creative now up in Kalamazoo. We launched our sweater blazer back in April, and this thing is selling like hotcakes, coming in at just under $30. So that's what's moving and shaking on the stock side of our business. I know the uniform conversation with, hey, what questions to ask, the vertical markets and all that detailed I shared could become a little bit mundane, but it is useful and really important when you're pursuing that opportunity. And I hope I did get the point across as well, that we are becoming more contemporary, more modern. We offer you the benefit of a single vendor purchase order. So pull us out of the bag for event-driven and spot buy opportunities as well, because we do have that offering that fits those needs too. Real quick, in the last couple of minutes here, because I do want to respect that half-hour time frame I came up with at the beginning of the call, I want to talk to you about our custom division, Edwards X. Not to be repetitive, but you guys are learning. I can be quite repetitive at times, and it's intentional because there is this thing called the Rule of 7. We purchased a company up in Vancouver, British Columbia called Bishop Custom Clothing back in the fall of 2019, so 5 years ago. Today, it is Edwards X. We offer you a made-to-order experience from fiber up. So in other words, we're not putting you into a silhouette We're not dyeing it a PMS color and calling it custom. No. If you have a client that wants a Peter Millar inspired polo, if you have a client that wants a Travis Matthew inspired quarter zip, hey guys, knock this Carhartt jacket off. That's what we do. So it's from the fiber up, design to delivery. Now, we're not for everybody. I have a 500 piece minimum, and the lead time, I like to refer to it as the experience, takes between 4 and 5 months, and that's start to finish. So that being said, I'm sharing this screen with you not to brag. I'm sharing this screen with you because we've worked on projects with Fortune 100 brands that most everybody is familiar with. And I'm sharing this with you because we have been vetted up and down. We take corporate social responsibility very seriously. So we're partnered with factories overseas that pass the tests, that are not using child labor, that are using responsibly resourced goods. In other words, we have a global supply chain that can handle programs of this magnitude. If you ever want to see our goods in the wild, walk into your local T-Mobile store. Before I get into how to sell our custom, and just to give you some ideas, I'd like to point this out. We've invested a lot of money into our photorealistic virtual samples. So we like to help you guys look good. These can be on body, off body. They're highly descriptive, and you'll see some examples throughout the end of this presentation here. So a couple of different ways that you can sell our custom. Number one is through uniforms. Who would have thought, right? So, but in all seriousness, you guys, what you want to do is sell a blended program. You want to use Edwards stock pants, Edwards stock polos, stock button-ups, and then use Edwards X to come up with a signature piece. It could be a custom apron. It could be a custom blazer. It could be a custom outerwear piece. But this signature piece, what this does for you, it creates a differentiation factor. You could take the Edwards book, the Vantage book, the Sanmar book, and you could flip through every book, but you're not going to find that signature piece because that design is exclusive to you. We have won a number of programs in the last few months using this technique of the signature piece approach. So again, you're using the Edwards stock garment, and then you're coming in with that differentiation factor. And I'll give you a real life testimonial. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Sun Outdoors. It's like the Four Seasons of RV parks throughout the United States. They purchase stock bottoms, stock tops, and then we come in with this signature collection, which is mostly outerwear jackets. So uniform programs are one way to sell our custom apparel. Number two is we're in a lot of retail programs. One of those programs is Maserati. So we work with a distributor down in Southern California who has this account. And ultimately what we do is we sell a limited collection series. It's limited edition, right? Because you're probably thinking to yourself, well, Brian, if it's a 500 piece minimum and I run out of larges, what's the reorder? And my answer is 500. So the approach that we take with Maserati, as well as Cirque du Soleil, is this. In quarter one, we provide an outerwear jacket. In quarter three, we then do a t-shirt. And then in quarter one of the following year, we do a polo, and so on and so forth. We've had this program for 6 years. We've had the Cirque du Soleil program for 5 years using this unique special edition, limited edition approach. So I'm sharing that with you because it is very successful. And again, these are ultimately resold at dealerships throughout North America. Another idea here, guys, is just the corporate anniversary. This is a rhetorical question, but think about your top 5 clients, right? The rhetorical question is, do you know their inception year, the year their business was founded, right? And if you don't know, that's okay. Google is our best friend. But where I'm going with this is corporate anniversaries give you a really good opportunity to sell custom, whether it's a tech company that's started up, that's been around for 5 years, or a manufacturing company that's been around for 125 years. It is a really good opportunity for you to sell, or at least approach the custom apparel and have that conversation. And lastly, a really good way to sell our custom is through two different avenues here. One are events, right? Because of that lead time of 4 to 5 months, an event example like the Super Bowl, we know when that event is, so we can plan for that. And then think of premiums, other giveaways like season ticket holder gifts. We did a code a couple of years ago for the Indianapolis Colts. We partnered with a distributor in the Indianapolis area and did this really cool satin jacket. So that's our story, guys. We're sticking to it. I think I kept this right to about a half hour. So clearly not my first time, but in all seriousness, I know I threw a lot of information at you guys. I know we have a large digestible message, and I know that the uniform sell process from start to finish takes a long time. You guys are going to be doing prospecting, having initial conversations, finding out that, oh, this contract just expired and I missed this opportunity. Or you're going to find out, hey, this contract just took place. And then once you find somebody that needs the uniforms, there's a lot of sampling involved. So we know it takes a lot of time, but it is worth it. I referenced mailbox money. The lifespan of these programs are anywhere between 5 and 7 years. It is truly mailbox money. And the biggest thing that I can tell you is lean on us. We have 13 territory managers throughout the United States. We have a very seasoned, they're a veteran team. The majority of the team has been with Edwards for more than 6 years in their respective role. What I'm saying to you is, if you do have a uniform opportunity, present it to us. Let us walk you through the questions to ask. More importantly, the questions that are going to be asked of you. And equally, if you'd like, we'd be more than happy to show up with you as an extension of your business, whether it's virtually or in person, and help ask you questions. And again, as an extension of your business, help you close that deal. So with that being said, now I'm going to stop talking and turn it back over to you guys. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Makes me want to sell uniforms. I want to make something custom.
I can't thank you guys enough. Dean, Mike, Lori, Nathan, Ennis for joining, Melissa for joining me today. Take advantage of my offer. I'm going to give everyone one free branded AIA samples. That was on my last slide, which I kind of blew through. But just shoot me an email. Let me know what piece you want, the SKU, the color, the size, your shipping address. I'll decorate it with the AIA logo. Just give me a DST file. I don't even need your shipping number. And then equally, give me a client logo. Let's do a spec sample. That way you can at least touch and feel my apparel. You can at least see some of the process in working with us. So that offer is on the table.
Ike?
Yeah, how
do you have any? Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I mean,
Yep.
interrupt. I was just wondering, how do we set up another appointment with you, sir?
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen one more time if I can figure out how to do it. I'm going to share my information here. So simply reach out to me, shoot me an email. I'll schedule a time with you. That's my direct line. But email is the best way to get a hold of me.
What's your
And as
question,
far
Lori?
as that sample, well, I'm sorry, Melissa.
Oh, go ahead,
do you have
Brian. I
any,
thought you were done.
No, I was just going to say, as far as that spec sample and that personal branded sample that I said, just shoot me that note. Don't cut me a PO. Just put SKU, color, size, like real simple, old school. And that way I can just forward it over to my customer service rep, Dustin, who will take care of it. He's pretty quick to act. And by the way, that brings me to this too. There's always something else I can add. Any marketing collateral that you need that we don't have, right? That's not already existent on the website. The marketing team, Brian, the other Brian, and his team are really quick to act. They're quick to come up with that material. We have a whole uniform lookbook on our website. So if you go to edwardsgarment.com, under the merchandising tab, which exists at the top of the page, you'll see this uniform lookbook. This is a great resource. This breaks down a good, better, best for the vertical markets that I shared with you. So think of it as a cheat sheet. Here, I'm just going to show you real quick. So under this marketing tab, I apologize. Then under merchandising, you want to go to uniform lookbooks. And I think this is the best tool that we have. We have this printed as well. If you guys want us to take our branding off of this and put your business name here, we can do that, no problem. But just to the point, right? Oh, we want an outfit a parking and valet guy person. Here's a good, better, best. Oh, we want to outfit housekeeping. Here's a good, better, best. And we're giving you tops and bottoms. So this is a really nice cheat sheet. And there's other collateral too. I do and will share with you guys. Where'd you go? There you are. I will share with you guys that we are going to be getting a new website Q2 or Q3 next year. So just be on the lookout for that. Again, kind of fitting that theme of more modern and contemporary. So
You just answered my question.
good. See, if I talk long enough, I'll answer everyone's question. So that's it, guys. If you like what you heard, tell your friends too. Tell your friends. But no, in all seriousness, if you guys want to set that additional appointment, just reach out. Happy to do so. And anything that we could do to help you grow, we would love that opportunity. So I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day. And Melissa, I really appreciate you for facilitating today's call.
Of course.
Thank you so much, Brian. Awesome info.
You got
Thank
it.
you, Brian.
Thanks, guys. Have a great afternoon and enjoy the rest of your week.
You too.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.